Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie Esther here. Hope you all had a great holiday season and Happy New Year to you. Dead by Daylight is also back from their office holiday break and they came out swinging with this tweet. The team has returned with some big improvements, Survivor Activity HUD, nerfs changes, night tweaks, Eerie of Crows update, challenge tracker, and more with exploding head. What's more? Learn more by clicking here for this developer update. All right, so let's check it out. I have not read any of this, so we're going to read it fresh together. So let's go here. Developer update January 2023, last updated at 11:55 a.m. This just went live at noon. So let's see what we got here. Iridescent Shard prices. What is all this? Update on cheating. All right, let's get into this. Okay, here we go. Happy New Year! The team is back from holidays and we've brought a new developer update with us. In this series of posts, we cover all the biggest upcoming changes coming to Dead by Daylight. We have many quality of life improvements up our sleeves. So without further ado, let's kick 2023 off with a bang. Survivor Activity HUD. It's no secret that playing with friends may improve your odds of survival. Communication can at times make the difference between life and death. Solo survivors need to work extra hard to keep up, often sacrificing perk slots for crucial information that could be easily shared between players in a call. Last year, we shared an early design for a system that would help bridge the gap between solo survivors and pre-made groups. The response to this idea was positive, so we've been ironing out the details and working on it behind the scenes since. This is almost a year ago. We're happy to say that this system will be debuting in the 6.5.0 update. Each survivor will now display their current action next to their portrait. These actions include repairing generators, opening the gate, healing, mending, and recovering, cleansing and blessing a totem, searching a chest, or killer-specific actions, snapping out of it, waking up a survivor, etc. This not only gives you vital information to plan your next move, but also gives you some visibility on what your teammates are doing to build camaraderie between you and your fellow survivors. These actions are only visible among survivors. Killers won't be told what you're doing at all times. So here we see all these little status effects here. Vittorio is obviously cleansing the totem. Jeff is in chase because he's got these tiny little marks around his portrait. Adam is the obsession working on a generator, and Zarina is also... Oh, no, wait, is he doing a chest? It's hard to see, that's tiny. I don't know, I can't tell. It's tiny. They're doing things, that's what's important. Let's see here. Beyond actions, we've added a new indicator to signify that a survivor's in the chase. Oh, that's the little teeny tiny entity clause here. Previously, it was only possible to tell when the obsession was being chased due to the twitching icon. Going forward, any survivor that is being chased will have a small set of entity claws surrounding their portrait. Meanwhile, the obsession will always have the larger set of entity claws around their portrait, keeping the effect visually similar. Unlike your current activity, the killer also sees who they are chasing, making it possible to distinguish two similarly dressed survivors. Oh, I like that. Finally, we've added a new health state to show when a survivor is being carried by the killer. Oh, that's cool. Previously, the carried survivor would be shown in the dying state, but this could be confusing for newer players who were looking for the aura of a dying teammate. Why these actions? The goal with this feature is solely to bridge the gap between solo survivors and pre-made groups. All this information can be easily conveyed between friends in a call, but not between solo survivors without the use of perks. Therefore, this information will not make a coordinated group any stronger than before. We specifically want to avoid anything that could give already coordinated groups an advantage, such as showing a survivor's exact location. Due to the procedural nature of Dead by Daylight maps, callouts like these can be hazy at times, so pinpointing an exact location could give even pre-made groups an advantage. We hope you'll find this decision to be the fairest option for bridging the gap, and we'll be closely monitoring the impact that this change has on solo survivors, pre-made groups, and overall gameplay. We look forward to hearing from you all once you've had a chance to try it out. Now, I just want to make one point about this. A lot of people believe that being on a call is cheating in Dead by Daylight, and I would just point to the very first Dead by Daylight dev Q&A session where they said that they had initially created the game. This is when it was in alpha and Trapper was the only killer. They had created the game with comms built into the game, but they felt like they didn't want to force strangers to communicate with one another, and that they knew that players who were friends would jump into calls with one another and convey information that way. So they removed comms from the game. So it was always planned and presumed that players would use comms in this, and even encouraged to the point where initially they had comms in game. So anybody who thinks that comms in Dead by Daylight is cheating, well, I'll just say that it goes against, that notion goes against the grain of what the actual creators thought and intended when they first began. Anyway, moving on. If you don't believe me, you can go watch the first Q&A yourself at the 50-minute mark where they explain it. Anyway, updated wiggle mechanics. The updated wiggle system was the first feature to appear in the beta tab last year. Since its introduction, we've collected feedback from countless games around the internet. Roughly 83% of players are currently opted into the wiggle beta. The time has come for this system to be officially integrated into the game, and as a result, the wiggle beta will disappear from the betas tab in 6.5 update. There's a couple changes that will be made before this goes live. First, we're removing faster wiggle progression from great skill checks. Hitting all the great skill checks could shave off a whole second. While this sounds small, it can be the difference between wiggling free and getting hooked. Rather than increasing wiggle speed, great skill checks will instead increase the amount the killer sways while carrying you by 20%. Great skill check success zones have also been increased in size since they are now less impactful. Good skill checks, on the other hand, still bump the killer, but 50% less than was previously normal. Second, we've added a new sound for non-attempts. For example, not attempting to hit a skill check at all. Previously, this would play the missed skill check sound, which can be a little intense when played over and over if you've decided not to wiggle. This new sound will be much more subtle. I like that. Third, we have cleaned up the new system's interaction with Decisive Strike. Previously, wiggle skill checks would start immediately after the Decisive Strike skill check. This caught a lot of people off guard and caused some confusion. There is now a short half-second delay after the Decisive Strike skill check before the wiggle skill checks will appear. You'll be credited a small amount of wiggle progress to make up for the added delay before these skill checks appear. The nurse. In the right hands, the nurse can no doubt be the strongest killer in the game. Though she has a steep learning curve, not much can stand between a good nurse and the survivor she's trying to kill, not even walls. Although it's been a while since we've made any major changes to her, the nurse has steadily grown in power thanks to the introduction of new perks, making her already strong playstyles even stronger. This, in large part, comes down to the fact that her attacks are considered basic attacks, meaning they can benefit from a wide variety of perks. Since the nurse can be threatening enough on her own, we've decided that it's time to make her blink attacks special attacks. Wow. This means they will no longer activate basic attack perks such as Starstruck, No One Escapes Death, and so on. Wow. Next, we've added a new sound cue when the nurse has fully regenerated her blink charges. This way you'll know when you're ready to blink again without having to keep an eye on the corner of your screen. That's good quality of life change. Beyond that, we took some time to revisit the nurse add-ons to add new effects and bring the strongest and weakest of the bunch closer in line with the rest. Notably, any add-on that increases the nurse's maximum blink range has been replaced with a completely new effect. Wow, blink range add-ons. What? Here's a sneak peek at what's to come. Bad Man's Last Breath. After hitting a survivor with a blink attack, the nurse becomes undetectable for 25 seconds. This effect can only be triggered once every 45 seconds. Jenner's Last Breath. Once all blinks have been exhausted, the nurse may teleport back to her original position. Once she returns to her original position, all blink charges are restored. The full details for the change add-ons can be found in the patch notes once update goes live, but you can also expect changes for the following: Catatonic Boy's Treasure, Dark Cincture, Heavy Panting, Ataxic Respiration, Fragile Wheeze, Campbell's Last Breath, Kavanaugh's Last Breath, the Torn Bookmark, and the Matchbox. Spasmodic Breath will also receive new audio and visual feedback to make it clearer when its effects are active. Ooh. The Knight. The Knight and his guards have been patrolling the realm for a little over a month now, and we've been combing through your feedback all the while. One recurring piece of feedback we've received is about how the Knight's power is best used in loops rather than over long distances. While this is a totally valid way to use his power, we'd also like to make it more appealing to use your power in different ways. We've made a few changes aiming to make longer paths more powerful. First, the orb survivors see when the killer is creating a path will shrink with distance, disappearing completely when the path is longer than 10 meters. Wow. This will make it more difficult for survivors to avoid a guard before they become active, though the killer will still need to predict where the survivor will go. Second, after creating a path longer than 10 meters, the Knight will gain the haste status effect for a few seconds. The longer the path, the longer the movement speed bonus will last. This aims to help the killer catch up after using his power. Interesting. Third, the guards will move to the position they spotted a survivor and begin chasing faster depending on the length of the patrol path. Like the haste, only paths longer than 10 meters will benefit from this. Beyond promoting longer paths, we've increased the instant generator aggression from guards to 5% compared to the default 2.5%. Guards will not activate generator damaging perks, however, so use them wisely. Lastly, we have admire the ways you have used the Knight's power. We have admired the creative ways some of you have used the Knight's power. Rather than locking down an area or aggressively chasing survivors, some of you have discovered that you can start drawing a path and not move to hide your terror radius, particularly near a hooked survivor. While the efficiency of doing this is debatable, it doesn't exactly suit his playstyle, so we've added a 10-second limit to his patrol path creation. This gives enough time to not affect a typical path, but it will put a hard limit on how long you can stay still and hide your terror radius. The Eyrie of Crows. Now, if you didn't notice, eagle-eyed viewers here before noticed that in this picture where they showed us these survivor status effects, that they had flipped the position of the vault and the breakable wall. Normally, the vault would be here and you jump through and you'd run around the building this way. Now, the breakable wall is here and the vault is here, making the vault less useful. I'm sure they're going to cover that in these Eyrie of Crow map changes, but Eagle Eyes spotted that before we even got to this point for the new year. Eerie of Crows. Last year, the Forsaken Boneyard appeared in the Entity's realm alongside the Portrait of a Murder chapter. You've given us a lot of feedback on this surreal landscape, and we've prepared some gameplay adjustments for the Eerie of Crows, which will launch in this upcoming patch. Many players reported that the map felt survivor-sided. It is. And this is something we can back up looking at our data. To remedy this, the map will be changing shapes. Rather than a long rectangle, wow, the map will be roughly square, allowing killers to patrol generators more easily. This change in shape also reduces the overall size of the map slightly. Additionally, maze tiles, stronger tiles made up of tall walls, have been moved away from the main building and shack, making it harder to combine them into strong loops. Last but not least, several new tiles have been added to the map. Multiple existing tiles have had new foliage added in strategic places to allow trapping killers to better hide their traps. Keep an eye out as you explore. Wow, I can't wait to go to this map. Look at that. That is cool. Look at this new tile. Holy. We hope you find the new Eerie of Crows to be a much more even experience for both sides. Yeah, especially there's so many palettes and useful tiles on there that, and especially for M1 killers, it's very difficult and definitely a survivor-sided map. Can't wait to explore that. In-game challenge tracker. We've all been there before. You're not quite sure if you've finished your challenge or not. You spent the rest of the match questioning, was that 5 totems or 4? Doubt starts to creep in, but you lie to yourself and say, no, it was 5. Then the match ends and you find yourself just shy of the goal. Never again. We're adding a challenge tracker during the match. The widget will appear at a set of intervals as you make progress on an active challenge. You can choose to toggle between 2 settings that will indicate progression on a challenge as well as completion. No more guessing. Or if you prefer to keep your screen clear, The widget can be switched off entirely in the option menus. That's pretty cool. Liberator. 2 stacks. Interesting. I like that a lot. Game flow improvement. Speaking of challenges, if you've ever queued up for a match before realizing that you didn't have a challenge selected, you'll know that you're faced with 2 choices. Keep queuing and play the match without a challenge, or back out and select one. Starting in 6.5.0, this is a thing of the past. You can now browse the archives and the store while searching for a match. The searching for a match indicator will stay in the bottom right corner of the screen as you browse. You'll also be able to spend blood points in the blood web as you wait. New for our killer players, you'll also be able to customize your non-selected killers while you wait for a match to start. Note, the killer you will enter the match with will be the killer you started your search with. As always, returning to the main menu will automatically cancel your search or exit your group as it always did. Whether you forgot something or you just loved clicking around while you wait, we hope you'll enjoy having more freedom while searching. I love that idea. If I'm queued up as one killer and I have a lot of blood points, I can spend them on another killer while I'm waiting for the match. Love it. Merciless Killer. Finally, we have a small update to Merciless Killer ratings. These ratings are currently tied to the grade system, where a double pip earns you a Merciless Killer result and a corresponding Adept Killer achievement trophy. Unfortunately, this means that as your grade increases, it becomes harder to earn these achievements. Since the emblem system has transitioned to a monthly ladder, it no longer makes as much sense for match results to be based on them. To clean things up, the result you get after a match will now be tied directly to kills. 0 kills, the entity hungers. 1 to 2 kills, brutal killer. 3 kills, ruthless killer. 4 kills, merciless killer. So I can get my merciless adept just getting 4 kills. I don't have to double pip. Wow. With this change, the requirement for merciless killer rating is much clearer and remains the same regardless of your grade. This will also make killer adept achievements a similar level of difficulty to their survivor counterparts. Hallelujah. Can't wait to go get all those adepts I'm missing now. What is this? Iridescent Shard prices. A few months back, we announced that all non-licensed outfits would receive an option to purchase with Iridescent Shards roughly a month after they first appear in the store. By extension, existing outfits will also receive Iridescent Shard options, but this is being done in batches, a few characters at a time. So far, we've added this option to outfits for the Trapper, the Wraith, the Hillbilly, the Nurse, the Huntress, the Doctor, the Hag, Dwight, Claudette, Meg, Jake, Nia, and David King. We can reveal that the next characters to get this treatment will be the Clown, the Spirit, Ace Visconti, and Feng Min. You can expect the Iridescent Shard prices to appear around the time the update releases on all platforms, not the PTB. Okay, fine. But I really, really do not like the fact that you made the Deck the Trials outfits exempt from this. You said that they would receive the option to purchase outfits with Iridescent Shards 4 weeks after they appear in the store. The Deck the Trials outfits are live for 5 weeks, and you went back on this and you said that they are exempt from this program. I don't like it. I don't think it's in the spirit of community celebration for the holiday, and I think it's a terrible idea, and I have said so. Really don't like that, but I'm not in charge. An update on cheating. Now that 2022 is behind us, we wanted to leave you with a chart showing the number of cheaters banned each year since Dead by Daylight was released. 64,000 cheaters. All right. The team is still hard at work finding and patching new vulnerabilities, and we hope to share more information with you soon. With that, we've reached the end of the first developer update of the year. Everything we shared in this post will be available in the public test build starting tomorrow, and are planned to be released on all platforms later this month. Be sure to let us know what you think once you've had a chance to try them out. Until next time, the Dead by Daylight team. Okay, so PTB tomorrow, so we're going to have to show up for a live stream for that early. Another thing about these Iridescent Shard prices, you know, on top of the fact that, you know, I believe they went back on the social contract that they established with the community when they said that outfits would be available to purchase with Iridescent Shards after 4 weeks. and they declared the Deck the Trials cosmetics exempt from that program. They are also mothballing every single outfit that is related to the holidays, starting tomorrow, I think, or on the 5th, something like that. Very close. Everything holiday related is being put in the vault until this November. So if there are any outfits that you have not gotten, you need to consider purchasing them now or wait until next November. Anyway, so that's all I have for you today. Let me know what you think is the most exciting aspect of this, or the thing that you hate the most. I'm really interested to hear. But we'll be checking out these changes. I'll probably be playing some Nerfs, and definitely going to be going to the Eyrie of Crows a lot to check out that new map. But let me know what you think about all this stuff, all these changes to the game, quality of life, survivor, activity, all that stuff. Very interested to hear your perspective. And as always, I appreciate the time you spend here with me on my channel. Happy New Year to you. Don't forget to take care of each other in the fog, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
It's a Gen Rush life for us. It's a Gen Rush life for us. Set a hiding, we do gens. Set a randoms, we got friends. It's a Gen Rush life.